there is a new trailer for GTA 6, and it's the second one they've released thus far. From the first reactions, it's a lot of cutscenes and not a lot of gameplay being shown, which people are frustrated by. But what is revealed in this trailer is something a lot of fans already suspected from this game, which is that they have gone woke with the inclusion of pride parades in the game. And I think you can probably guess as well that those pride parades involve unkillable NPCs. You're not allowed to just mow them down or do the things that you normally do in GTA.
Of course not.
And be a menace because they're a protected class in the game and in real life, of course. So, like, I don't really care enough to react to the trailer itself. I want to go through some of the posts about it, especially this meme.
Song will get us copyrighted.
Yeah, it'll get us in trouble. You see the potential, you know, the creative potential in all of this. So this is confirmed. It was actually in line with a leak that came out last year from Reddit. I took part in a playtest yesterday. Holy shit, it's so woke. There are rainbow flags and rainbow crosswalks in the city. You can find small pride parades, and those NPCs are literally unkillable. I didn't want to raise any eyebrows, but I tried it, and you can't kill them. They just run away and disappear. They also have these new procedural missions, and one of them, I shit you not, is called Prevent Deportation. So your job is to basically escort an NPC to its destination, and every now and then you have to repel waves of ICE agents.
I mean, that's kind of lame because then you're just a coyote without any profit.
I mean, I guess it is still like going in the same theme of like being a criminal if you're trafficking people in the game.
But that's not any fun. Like, you should be able to make money doing this. If you're going to be a criminal, my goodness, be a criminal.
Right. Extort them for money in the process.
I mean, that's what happens in the real world.
I don't know if that makes the ICE agents bad guys in the game. Like, you're still the villain.
Yeah, technically by framing, they're not technically the bad guys, but
that's a weird
we understand
thing to
that they
include.
are.
That is a weird aspect to include in the game, especially with the political climate right now.
Captain K in the chat says, human trafficking. Nice.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
That's what it is.
I don't know for sure that they included that, but the Pride Parade is confirmed in the game and not just a mod. There was a mod in GTA 5 for Pride Parades, but this is actually supposed to be, people are saying, part of the game itself. And the gays are happy already.
Yeah.
First off, because they're thirsting over one of the protagonists, not the playable female protagonist they added, but the second protagonist, Jason Duval. And they're all incredibly horny over him. They're saying, I can fix him. I can save him.
Here's my problem with this, is that when guys talk about like the character design of female characters, they get called misogynistic and they talk about the male gaze.
Right.
Not
that's
the male
what's happening
gaze,
to the male.
but the male gaze with a Z, and you're told that you're a bad person for wanting female characters to look conventionally attractive. Why is this such a double standard?
He's being objectified right now by the gays on Twitter.
They
want to know if you're able to make the character kiss guys. They say Jason Duval confirmed as spankable. Okay.
See, if a guy was supposed to say that about a female character, he'd go to jail. Internet jail.
Instantly fell in love with the Jason guy. Rockstar is giving the gays what we want. And Pink News also released an article recently after the trailer came out saying that it sparked a renewed wave of excitement for the latest installment, but will Grand Theft Auto's LGBTQ plus fans finally get the inclusion they deserve? After, I didn't even know about this, Rockstar has a history of, I guess, a bad record of inclusion for queer fans. Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Well,
really.
The problem with any of this is that when you talk about marginalized groups in movies and television, they want it to be on their terms. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be at the whims of what they would call cis people. and their definition of what their characters should be. So it's like they talk about harmful, offensive stereotypes. And I was like, well, you know, if I got offended every time like an old white guy played an evil billionaire, I would do nothing but be mad all the time. But stereotypes exist for a reason in entertainment, usually as some type of visual through line to connect you to the story in some way. And it's a simplistic form of storytelling. Doesn't necessarily make it bad. But like I said, you know, most people...
What did GTA ever do to the gays?
Well, I guess they're talking about the ballad of...
It's only the fact that there aren't gay protagonists doing gay stuff in the game. Like, I don't really understand.
Oh, they also mentioned the Psycho, the NPC character that's transgender.
Oh, what year was that?
2009, or back then.
So GTA 5 was 2011.
I'm sorry, 2002.
GTA 5 was 2011, right? Or was
Vice
it 2012?
City. It was 2011.
Okay, yeah. Grand Theft Auto's historic lack of inclusivity for the LGBTQ community has long been a source of controversy, with past games marred by serious and offensive missteps, which Rockstar will need to work hard to make up for with GTA 6 if they hope to regain the trust of the LGBTQ community.
What trust is that? What does that mean? What does that mean?
That means them not making threats.
I guess, is that the same type of thing they're saying, like Marvel should care about straight white male representation if they want to regain the trust of the non-gay community?
Nobody ever said that, though. I think that this is why all of those video game consultant firms...
Sweet Baby Inc.
You know, cropped up into existence so that they could... handhold these companies along the way in making their games more inclusive to the standards that they have come up with. And if you don't comply, as we learned from the tactics of people at Sweet Baby Inc., they will threaten to destroy you. Like that's what's happening.
That's not gonna work anymore.
No, that era is over.
That era is gone.
And it's also it's come and gone. Companies since GTA 5.
Companies that bend the knee to this now do so solely because they either don't understand the internet or they have such a narrow field of vision that we've talked about this before. Like, the idea is that you've got some Gen X, maybe even millennial social media manager who doesn't understand just how many people are on the internet. And back in the day, it would have been boomers and Gen Xers, I suppose. And it's like you get 15 mean comments sent to your company's X account, or I guess Twitter back then, and you upend everything because some people complain to you, which is a very different thing when you think about, like, if you're a company and you're selling thousands upon thousands of something to thousands upon thousands of customers, 15 negative messages might feel like a lot in the moment because it's like one person reading through them all, and then they panic thinking that everybody's out to get them. But even if you got hundreds of negative comments, hundreds of negative messages about something, if you look at your actual profit margins and the amount of each item you sell to an individual customer, it's really not that much in the grand scheme of things. But that's very, very hard for people to delineate when it's like one person running social media who then passes this along to an executive who doesn't really understand how the internet works.
Yeah, if anything was going to teach them that that's not how the internet works, it would be the Hogwarts Legacy success.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, super controversial release, tons of social media outrage. And none of it meant anything because it sold insane numbers.
Well, okay, then let me just stay on that train of thought for a second, though. Okay, then how do you, if you're that person in charge, how do you, and say you're not part of any individual community, whether you're, let's take Hogwarts Legacy and now Hogwarts, or Harry Potter, the television series, right? So how do you understand and differentiate the controversy that will hurt you versus the controversy that won't? Because people were complaining about Hogwarts Legacy, and everyone was thinking that it was going to hurt their numbers and ended up actually making them more money. But now the other side of the aisle is complaining about the Harry Potter TV series because of the Snape casting. How do you differentiate which one will hurt you versus which one will help you? If I was to give you like a really simple idea, it's that the ones who complain about stuff like Hogwarts Legacy don't have any money and don't buy stuff anyways, whereas normal people have money and will buy stuff.
I don't think it's purely that. The difference to me is quite obvious. One is that people were mad about J.K. Rowling being involved in Hogwarts Legacy. And on the other hand, what people are mad about in regard to the show is something that's actually in the show. No one was mad at the content of the video game. They were mad at the author of the story that inspired it.
Whereas the show
actually has a problem in the show. So, and that could definitely get worse over time as we continue getting casting announcements. But yeah, it's been 13 years since the last GTA was released in an entirely different cultural landscape. And there are people who were kids when it came out who are now full-grown adults. And they don't need to play by the same rules. I don't really understand why they felt compelled to include all of this woke stuff. Like, I don't like calling things woke, but this is woke. Like, I don't know what else to call this. This is what we're referring to when we use the word woke. It's appropriate.
This game did not get started after the, quote unquote vibe shift. I mean, it's been in production for years upon years, so it was produced through the worst period of time for entertainment, back in 2017, 2018, stuff like that.
It's been a tumultuous last
we got that
10 to 15 years.
We got that Kanye music video before we got GTA 6.
HH by Kanye West before we got GTA 6.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.